Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad. And today I'm going to be covering some lists that we got out of the Calling Lyon. So I have two lists for you today. The first one is a very interesting tiger-based list. And this list is from Fari Fendrick. And he went 8-4 and went on to day 2 in the Calling Lyon. So this is a very interesting tiger-focused build. Apparently there's not also a lot of testing going into this build. Apparently this was given to him as just a deck to play, and he was given like brief sideboard notes and just told to play the deck, and he performed super well. So very, very interesting kind of story there. There's also a lot of kind of the tiger focused cards. So we have cards like Tooth and Claw, Growl, and like the tiger hand tiger package. So Aurora the Tiger, Tiger Form Incantation, Harmony Hunts, as well as like all the Tiger Form Incantations as well. We also have some spicy mauls in the sideboard. These are specifically for the Illusionist matchup. And we have a nice little React package. I think these are mainly for like Rangers and such. So very interesting deck list. I think also for like new, obviously. But very interesting deck list. The one concern I have about this deck list is that there are only 12 combo cards, which is very interesting. Normally I try to build my decks to have at least like around 30 combo cards. So Harmony in this deck is basically a blue 3 block, but maybe that's good enough. So this is the list I want to try out today. We also have another list from Taki. This is kind of similar to what I have for my Zen list. So we're running Harmony Hunts. I don't run E-Strike, but I've toyed around with it. So this is on 27 blues, and then I think our combo count's at roughly 26. Yeah, so pretty good amount of stuff here. The sideboard is also very interesting. So we have some Poison the Wells for the CYB matchups, and then Weakest Link and Erase Face. So yeah, overall, two very interesting lists from the Calling Lyon. One kind of in a familiar direction that we've kind of been accustomed to, and the other one that's the way off the radar, kind of similar to a lot of like the early Zen lists. So definitely want to give this deck a shot and see if there's legs to it. And I think that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the games. All right, looks like we got a Levia. I am curious if we're going to be able to race a Levia because they do put up a lot of pressure. I think for our board, we're keeping it largely the same. Again, we don't really have like Weakest Link or anything in the board that we'd want to bring in. Against Levia, I generally don't like to fill graveyard, so I think we're just passing here. Yeah, I do typically like to go second into Levia just so that they don't have a free opportunity to fill graveyard. This hand kind of wants me to block a bit. Alright, so they've discarded Dread Screamer. They still have one action point. But they can't like CNC us or anything, so maybe it's fine to just block with our Chase the Tails here. I do ideally want to, well, maybe I'll block with the Marlin Key and the Chase still, because this deck only has 12 combo cards, so preserving the combo count seems somewhat reasonable. Although I think we are just going to block with it here, just so we can send Tooth and Claw and Arsenal the pass over. Yeah, that seems reasonable. So we'll send Tooth and Claw as just a 0 for 4. There's a little bit of a clunky hand, but again, I think most Zen hand, at least once a game, you're probably going to get a clunky hand as Zen. As long as it's not more than once, I think you're probably good. All right, roll Arsenal or pass over. It does suck that we're losing out on two of our most powerful cards in this deck. All right, we drew all three E-Strikes, which is exactly what we wanted here. No blues is also a little bit unfortunate in this hand. I think we're fine to take this pulping. Again, I want to play around CNC or like a send packing ideally. All right, looks like they got just a claw though. So we can block 6 here if we wanted to, or we could send 5, send 7. I feel like send 5, send 7's better, right? I guess they could Scowling us, which would be annoying, but... I guess I'm fine getting Scowling, though. It's not like the end of the world. Curious if they'll use it here. It's probably not a terrible Scowling, honestly. Okay, opt not to. That makes sense. We'll go ahead and send 7 here. I think it's a little bit more damage efficient just to do it this way. Do want to find a blue for this card, though. All right, we find our levels, which is very, very good. So I think we're going to start... Well, do we have a way to... Actually, we can do all 3 modes, right? If we want to. So we can start with this. Then send in the Kakara, then do levels transcend. So I think we'll go ahead and do it now. We'll banish a 6, right? I guess we'll banish a Dread Screamer just so they can't recast it off of like a Shadow Realm horror. We'll gain a resource, we'll get another card. Do we want the last Chase the Tail? How much float do we have? We have 3 float. It's probably reasonable. We could also get the Mauling Key, but I think Chase is probably fine here. They could banish if they wanted to, but we now drew the redundant Harmony of the Hunt, so that's pretty good for us. Okay, looks like they will go for the banish. So they banished the card we drew, which is fine. We'll then do Tiger into Chase and another Tiger. So it didn't mess us up too bad here. And again, based on our draw there, we were able to get the value off the Chase anyways. Our Summer Harmony. Alright, it looks like they're calling to the grave. I wonder what they're going to put in there. Beast Within. Okay, that makes sense. It's basically like cycling itself. It's kind of cool. Final Blood Rush. I forget, did we transcend? I think we did, right? I'm not making that up. How did we transcend? We used our Passover, right? Yeah. Okay, so we do have our Traverse available to us if we so desire. The question is, what is it doing? Let's find out more about what their hand is before we commit to anything. They were fine to see a bit of this damage, just try to race. Rolling Scabs. Alright, reroll a 2. I do ideally want to try to pressure their Husk. So they come in for 8. We can give up these 2 if we want to, but we don't really have like an Anthem or anything super valuable to use the Tiger for. I think we're maybe just fine using Traverse here. Just because I want to get them out of their Husk ideally. Also puts them out of Plasma Pet range. So we'll start here with the Harmony Hunt, and I think we're going to pitch our Homage. What are we tutoring for off Zen? It's a good question. So we can develop our aspect now as well. We can... Let's see what we got left in the tank. I think we have another Tiger Swipe. Well, we can do the triple Tiger Swipe turn. I don't know if that's good, but it is a thing that we are capable of doing. That's also playable, sure. You know what? We'll do it for YouTube. Why not? This is... if you're gonna have a Tiger deck, you might as well get the Tiger hand, right? Alright, triple Tiger Swipe incoming. This is very funny, by the way. Okay, they do get most of their Carrying Husk value, unfortunately, which is a little bit unfortunate, but probably fine. We're just swiping for days, though. they let this hit, we can also hold on to this tiger. Okay, blocking with the Bone Breaker. We do have to play out the extra tiger. Then we can end on the third tiger swipe. That's very funny. I don't think I've ever actually done this before in just a normal Zen deck. I wonder what the odds of that are. I guess it's pretty high. Just you need to see two of them together and then also have the ability to make all the tigers. It's not like terrible odds. Alright, so I do think we want to block with our boots just to get our tiger here, and we're not really worried about disruption or anything, right? Yeah, I think we're fine here. The worst thing to do is like Shadow Realm or Boneyard. Yeah, that makes sense. So I think we can block 2 here just to get out of Reckless range. Seems fine. Okay, so I think we're going to start with the Roar. Then we can do... This comes in for 5 go again. This also comes in for 5 go again. I guess we'll do Kakar first, though, and just see what's up. Then we'll do the Tooth and Claw now. Feel these two, so coming for 5. We don't get all the modes, but it's a little bit fine. And that was actually working pretty well against Levia. Holy crap, I did not think we were actually going to get there, especially through, what was that, 2 Blood Rushes? That's pretty crazy. Okay, maybe this deck does actually have some legs. And this is very cool. Let's see if we can get one more game and try it out. Alright, we got an Aurora, and I think we just want to go as fast as possible into Aurora. So I think we're running the main 60 according to the author's notes. Alright, pretty middling hand here. Oh, good luck, have fun. Alright, looks like they're getting in the free rune chant damage. That's fine. Alright, coming in for 1. I think we do want to filter a bit here. So they pitched a blank, which maybe means they can play a lightning card, so I want to be a little bit careful here. I think double blocking is still probably safe. I need to be a little bit careful. I think maybe blocking 3 here is probably the safest bet, because they do have a lot of ways to just give this go again. Okay. They didn't have it here, though, but they could easily have like blinked or played a lightning card instant speed, like a sigil. Okay, with this hand, I think we're just playing out these guys. Yeah, probably. So 3 into 3 into 4 is not bad. Then we can Arsenal our Chase, which is one of our better cards. Fortunately, our Tiger will not be doing very much. Yeah, no. Oh wait, sorry. We do actually have a recent play. Sorry, our Tiger is actually doing something. I forgot that Growl actually has other relevant text. That's kind of cool. I do think this deck is very good into Enigma. I guess my question is it putting out better numbers than just like a normal like combo base end? That's what I'm trying to figure out now. If we can race an Aurora, I think it's probably comparable. It's very interesting. Alright, we do get them blocked with a Static Shock here, which is pretty good. We get Chase the Tail set up in our arsenal for next turn. Find our Transcend card, but it's kind of at not a great point. So we could double block this. It feels like they have something here, like a press or like a CLV. But how do they give this go again, I guess is the question. Can they? I don't know. We could also just block with our tiger or strides and just send like a decent chase turn and then go off the transcend, which feels a little bit bad. I mean, it's correct though. It seems to me fine. This hand doesn't do much otherwise, so I figured it was a press. Let's see if there's also a CLV. Again, this is not a very impressive turn. They are IPing themselves. Well, I guess they could still Aurora if they wanted to. Once per turn instant, activate the solid. So they could have done that if they had a blue or something in hand, but I guess not. So I guess we're going to just use this for pitch now, which again, I'm not in love with. Could have also like pitched our Tiger Swipe if we wanted to, just to play it out and not Kakara it, but that also doesn't feel great. That might be correct though, honestly. Like if we just hold on Transcend, pitch a red there. Missing out on 3 damage to guarantee a Transcend, but we're pretty deep in our deck, so I don't think it's a super big rush to get online. All right, Somersault's getting some good value here. But they do only have a Lightning Surge and a Static Shock, so not a super impressive hand. Play out our Aspect, and then we can save a Tiger Swipe for next turn, or if they let it hit, we can just play it out. Seems alright. Right, blocking with the Greaves as well. Interesting. Okay, giving us a little bit more armor here. Also not opposed to this as well. We'll Arsenal our Tiger Swipe and hope to set it up on like Aurora turn maybe. Seems alright. And we find it. That's cool. Okay, so we didn't get punished for pitching our Transcend there. I think that's alright. And coming in with a Lightning Surge, so this is threatening 4 arcane damage. We're at a pretty decent life lead, and our hand's pretty alright for next turn. I'm pretty fine to just take this, honestly. It's 8 damage, it doesn't feel great, but like we'd have to go off a bunch of cards, and I think we can send more damage than they're dealing. So we'll stir and preserve. We'll put back Chase the Tail or Aspect, one of the two. I think it's Chase just because we're low on the combo cards. Gain a resource, Transcend. And then we can fetch a Chase after we roar. So we could also not. So we could also set up Zen State. It depends on what they do here. If they want to like hold back cards, I think we basically hold the Chi in hand to see if we want to pivot later. So we don't start with Kakara. We probably start with the Growl. Yeah, that seems right. So the Tiger will come in for 2, and then the next one will come in for 4. Seems correct in terms of breakpoints. And then if by the point that we play the second Tiger, before we play the second Tiger, if they're at the point where they have 5 cards in hand, then I think we want to just crack this for Zen State. But if they don't do that, then I think we want to just use this to pitch to Kakara. Okay, so it looks like they're committing cards here, so maybe they're a little bit scared of Zen State. So now we'll play out our Chase. Alright, yeah, it looks like they're blocking out. So making a Zen State here is not very valuable. So we'll go ahead and Kakara now. Just force her off of cards, I think is okay. Tiger for 6 is pretty good as well. Then we'll finish on Tiger Swipe. It's pretty good. And I'm surprised we're racing in Aurora. Just with the Tiger package and Kakara. It's very, very interesting. I sometimes struggle with needles into Aurora, but again, maybe it depends on the opponent and like kind of what their build is. All right, I think we're just gonna pop our traverse here and just try to send as much pressure as possible. Then I think we're gonna try to get our Tooth and Claw coming for 5. Then I guess we're getting like a 0 cost if we have one. Should have an aspect or a Tiger Swipe or something. Pretty impressive numbers, honestly. Like, how much damage was this turn? This is pretty high damage turn for a Tooth and Claw deck. Yeah, it's definitely not bad at all. There have definitely been a couple like little clunky hands, but like nothing necessarily worse than just like the normal combo build. Okay, it looks like we got there. Pretty impressive stuff, honestly. Yep, so this was Fari Findix 8 and 4 Calling Lyon deck list. I'll post a link to this in the description. I'll also post his sideboard notes or like his brief kind of matchup notes. Again, he said he didn't really have a ton of experience on this deck, but he did put up some pretty good results with it as well. I also linked to Taki's Lyon deck list, so this is also a pretty solid deck. I've been playing around with both of them just to kind of get a feel for them. This is definitely a little bit more my style, but the Tiger stuff is very, very interesting. It actually is like pretty aggressive, honestly. So surprised at least by the initial numbers that I was seeing. Very, very impressive. So yeah, those are the Calling Lyon deck lists, at least the ones I know about for Zen. And yeah, pretty good stuff. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.